LinuxMCE 0704 is now integrated into KDE. This video is a continuous walkthrough showing every step that went into setup, starting with a clean PC. Nothing was faked. What you see works reliably just as it is shown, except as noted. Since this is a clean PC, I'll boot off the quick install DVD that installs both Kubuntu and the LinuxMCE in one step, with all default options. There's only one prompt, which confirms the hard drive that it will format and install onto. On the first boot, it runs the Video Audio Wizard, where I pick my resolution and SBDIF digital audio with Dolby Digital and DTS. The quick install DVD assumes this system will be primarily used for LinuxMCE, so it bypasses the normal Kubuntu login and starts LinuxMCE automatically. You can turn this off and use it like a normal PC.
When you can see and hear me.
The first time LinuxMCE starts, you'll see a video wizard to guide you through the setup. To keep my demo moving fast, I'm going to skip all but the mandatory steps.
My name is Sarah.
Put in my name, as well as my other family members.
For everyone in your home.
Confirm it got my location correct.
I need to know about the rooms.
Specify the rooms in my house and choose which of those rooms this system is in. If you don't need smart home control and just want a media center, this is all you need to do.
Congratulations, you're pretty much done. That was easy, wasn't it?
LinuxMCE's user interface is all about the media. Your media is always full screen, and the UI is blended on top as subtle as possible so it does not interfere. This philosophy is in stark contrast to other media centers where the UI is intense and dominates the screen. When you're not watching your own media, daily gallery art from Flickr is displayed, so there is full screen media at all times. I insert a DVD. It plays automatically. I plug in a Windows IR receiver transmitter and use a Windows remote. The start button brings up my menu and all the navigation buttons work as expected. However, LinuxMCE's UI was designed to require only 3 buttons to control every device in your home if you have a pointing device. Custom remotes for LinuxMCE with the 3-button control are now being sold. You can do the same thing with a keyboard and a mouse, or a gyro mouse. This remote also has traditional navigation buttons if you prefer, but for this demo I won't use them to prove that all the functions really are accessible with only 3 buttons, plus OK and cancel. Tap Menu to bring up the main menu on top of your media. The remote has a gyro, so moving it moves the pointer on screen. Press OK to choose the highlighted option, or Cancel to make whatever menu is on screen go away. Tap Media and move up and down for the skipping action. Chapters on a DVD, channels on a TV, tracks on a CD, etc. Move past the top and bottom of any list to scroll it up or down. You control the scrolling speed by how far you move your hand past the edge. Tap Media and move left and right to control the playback speed. It's like a jog shuttle. The further you move left and right, the faster it goes. Or hold Media and don't let go while you move left and right for absolute positioning to find any scene extremely fast. Turn your hand 45 degrees to the left for the beginning of the movie and 45 degrees right for the end. It's very precise, so you can find any scene. Let go to resume playback.
Oh, this isn't a good time, pumpkin.
Press the Ambience button and move left and right to adjust the volume.
Where is he, Mum? I shall rend his head from his shoulders. I will smite
and up and down to adjust the brightness of the lights. While watching media, remotes are mostly used to change volume or navigate media, like changing speed, surfing channels, or skipping chapters. With LinuxMCE, those functions require only 2 buttons, media and ambience, versus 30 buttons on a normal remote. All the other less common options are accessed by pressing the menu button. The left menu pad changes depending on what media you're using, so for this DVD I can select subtitles and audio tracks.
Une potion?
Adjust the zoom and aspect ratio, etc. The regular IR remote still works at the same time. You can also copy a disc to the hard drive. Now I'll power down, add a TV tuner and boot up again. The card is automatically detected and it finds the provider for my area. Since I'm served by Data Direct, it asks for my Data Direct username and password.
Below are the devices on this media director which are
and to pick my lineup. That's all I did to set up my Myth TV
Congratulations, you're
PVR.
pretty much done.
I didn't need
That
to
was
use
easy,
Myth's TV setup. Start TV. Press the media button and move up and down to skip through channels. When I fly through the guide fast, it's still easy to recognise the rows with icons, so I can go into the Myth website and upload pictures for the channels and shows which don't have them. Now when I browse the guide, it's easy to spot all the Simpsons episodes. Highlight a channel and move to the right to see the upcoming shows and scroll through the next 2 weeks of programmes. When a show is highlighted, it's one click to record this episode, all episodes, or bookmark the show or channel as a favourite. Shows and channels that are bookmarked appear at the top of the guide. Now, I'll bookmark several shows and programmes, schedule a bunch of recordings and add icons for them. To view my recordings, I can still click Media, TV and browse them using Myth TV's native UI. However, LinuxMCE merges all Myth's recordings into its own UI under Media Videos. Here is all my video content, movies, discs and TV shows with filter and search. The gyro navigation is great for finding scenes and the skip buttons do a 30-second commercial skip.
It's the fairest deal in wireless.
I'll plug in a network storage drive with previously ripped media. It is plug and play, and all the attributes and cover art are imported and the media is catalogued. The gyro makes navigating long lists of media much faster. Wave your hand to scroll the list instead of hitting page down 100 times. I can also filter such as only show high-def content or only disc-based media or only TV shows or certain genres or do a keyword search. LinuxMCE automatically manages all my AV gear, either with infrared or my models have serial control making them plug and play. Plug them in as shown and then pick the inputs.
Did you connect the video cable from this media director directly in? Here are all the inputs. Which input did you? Congratulations!
Now, power off turns off the TV and receiver, and whenever I hit menu, they come on automatically and go to the correct inputs. The gyro volume now controls the receiver. Tap and release for smooth volume control and press and hold for absolute positioning to go from mute
Suddenly
to
I've
full
lost my
blast.
appetite. No, I guess I had imagined insect.
I have a cable box PVR which I have to add manually in the setup wizard because infrared devices
Which
are not
wizard do you
plug
want
and
to
play.
complete? Are there any pieces of AV equipment you would like to control as well? The manufacturer. Which model? Does this device have a video output that you connected into one of the other devices?
Yes,
If yes,
I
choose
also
the
connected the
device below.
high-def HDMI
Otherwise,
cable
choose
to
no.
the TV
Which input does this device have an audio output
and
that you
digital
connected
audio
into
to
one
my
of the other
receiver.
devices? If yes, choose the device
Since
below.
most cable boxes output the same video simultaneously on both the high-def digital and the standard def analog ports, I'll also connect the analog ports to my TV tuner.
If you have any video capture devices or tuners, connect them now. Below are the video capture ports inside this media director. Also connect the audio-video output from one of the other AV devices you added previously, such as a VCR or satellite TV tuner. I will share that device with all the other media directors everywhere in your home, so you can watch or listen to this device anywhere. Select the device connected to this port or choose Cancel. In which rooms do you want to be able to use this device? You can use this device in any room that has a media director.
Last, I pick the provider for this cable box.
Congratulations!
By default, LinuxMCE turns off all AV gear when not in use. We want this one to always stay on. Now I can view and record all my premium channels on Myth TV. LinuxMCE controls the cable box, but like all PVRs that work with an external cable box, notice the video is only standard def and there's latency. Only LinuxMCE has a workaround because it can manage my AV gear. This option lets me use the cable box directly. LinuxMCE's remote automatically controls whatever source device is active. You don't need to do anything. Whatever keys you press on any of the LinuxMCE remotes are translated and sent to the cable box. So, you can navigate the cable box's program guide, but you can also use LinuxMCE's program guide.
Secret light was then exposed. How long had you been married at the time? 8 years. 8 years. His layers of lies began to unravel. Here's what police told her about the
statement. Basically, we serve others by serving.
The buttons that don't exist on the LinuxMCE remote, like On Demand, are still accessible by hitting Menu.
Paranormal. How's that for a movie plot? But they're not actors, and this isn't a movie.
Here's where the AV control comes in. Choose Direct AV, and LinuxMCE switches the inputs on my TV and receiver, so I'm watching the direct digital feed in high def, with no loss of quality and no latency. Whenever LinuxMCE needs to display a menu, such as when I hit the menu button, it automatically sets my AV gear back again, so it can overlay its own menu on top using the TV tuner. There are many remote controls you can use with LinuxMCE, each with its own advantages. A regular Windows infrared remote, this gyro remote, a gyro mouse, a regular keyboard and mouse, a webpad, a PDA, or a mobile phone. You can do all the same things on all the remotes. They all provide the same functionality and they give you the same level of control over all the devices in your home. All the remotes are always in sync and can be used in parallel. Note, I have the same media options on the webpad. If I start live TV and press Guide, the command is sent to the cable box. But also, the gyro remote is now controlling the cable box too. Start a movie with the gyro remote, and note that the webpad switches its controls too. And I can browse movies on the webpad too. No matter what remote I use, all my AV gear is managed automatically, and LinuxMCE knows what button presses to route to which devices. This is not like the universal remote controls out there that make you pick a mode and know what source devices you have. Before LinuxMCE, it took 3 remotes and 19 button presses to start watching TV and surf for a channel. Now it's 1 remote and 2 button presses. Since I have lots of discs, I got a jukebox. It's also plug and play. I choose Load Many and fill it with DVDs and CDs. Rip All will identify all the discs, retrieve the cover art and attributes, and rip them all at once. Or I can just ID them and leave them in the jukebox to directly access from any media director in the home.
Nemo!
I can browse the web. Some popular sites are bookmarked already and can be launched and closed without a mouse or keyboard. To navigate them, the gyro remote acts like an air mouse. Plug in a Z-Wave dongle and follow the instructions.
Be sure all your Z-Wave devices, such as lamp modules and thermostats, are already on and working. You will need to pair them to a Z-Wave master controller and press include. Set the Z-Wave master controller next to me and press and hold include for. Got it. Everything is okay. For any new lights, I need you to tell me what kind of lights they are and which rooms they are in. Create some scenarios for you automatically. So what I will do is make a light or other device go on and off.
Identify each light as it flashes.
I am controlling a light. Which room is it? What type of light is it? I picked the following name.
Repeat for all lights.
Congratulations!
Notice that the LinuxMCE creates canned scenarios and events automatically, such as auto-dimming the lights in a room when the TV comes on. In the admin site, you can create your own scenarios and assign them numbers as shortcuts, which work with press and hold on the remotes. So, for example, from anywhere in the home, whether or not I'm near a media director, I can press and hold 1 on any of the remotes to turn the lights in the room on, and 0 when I go to bed, to turn the lights and TVs off, close blinds, forward calls to voicemail, set the alarm, etc. LinuxMCE is a whole house solution that shares all devices and media. So that rack of equipment I just set up can stay in one room, and everywhere else in the house I need only TVs with thin clients. This is very significant in ways you may not expect. For example, I get bored if I cook and eat fast food. Having all my entertainment in the kitchen would help, but without LinuxMCE my kitchen would look like this, because I'd need a PC for YouTube, email and network media. Windows media centers cannot share TV tuners, so I either need a laptop plus an external tuner device or a desktop PC with it built in. I need a keyboard and mouse because with the remote, Windows only lets you navigate media. When you mount a network drive or browse the web, you need them. I still need a cable box for premium channels like On Demand. Even the newest OCUR tuners can't get them. I could use a sling box, but then I'd have to switch between software applications. Windows doesn't share DVD jukeboxes either, so I need another one here, but there's one major showstopper. I don't have a cable jack in the kitchen. Like many newer places, my phone jacks were wired with Cat5, which gets me network for LinuxMCE. That's all I need. I get all my entertainment by only attaching a thin client to the back of the monitor. I'll turn it on. Here's the out-of-box experience. These remotes have a 100-foot range, so right now this remote is still controlling the first LinuxMCE PC in the other room. Press Connect. It finds whatever LinuxMCE box is closest at that moment and binds to it. I choose my video resolution and audio setting. The setup wizard found the main LinuxMCE PC already, so I only pick the room this is in. Setup is done. Here's my cable box with all the channels. I'll order an on-demand movie. Here are all my videos, including network media and the DVDs in the jukebox. Watch YouTube, check the weather. LinuxMCE had a big impact in the bedroom. That rack used to be at the foot of the bed. I raised the power and phone jack, mounted a thin client and IR transmitter, and mounted the TV in the front. The only difference in the setup is I have to pick my TV, since this model doesn't have a serial control and has to be controlled with IR. I won't need any remotes, but the one for LinuxMCE. And one of the best things is that LinuxMCE keeps track of each remote control individually. So if you start media and want to move, take the remote and press Follow Me.
Step back, ladies. I'm going to ask one of these workers to dance with me.
Note that it even turns the TV on automatically. So it's just one button press. It works for all media. Before LinuxMCE, when I ordered pay-per-view event, I had to stay in one room. Now they follow me and I'm mobile. The mobility LinuxMCE's Follow Me makes possible means productivity. In the morning, I no longer stay in bed to finish watching something. I take the remote into the kitchen while I make breakfast. I can also plug in network music players to have audio in a room without media director or TV. Install the Orbiter control software on an old web pad for a low-cost graphical remote. You can also connect a Bluetooth dongle. Then enable Bluetooth discovery on your mobile phone. It will be detected automatically and the remote control software sent to it. Now I can control lights and start media with my mobile phone. Plug in an IP camera and pick the lights and alarm sensors the camera is close to. The lights come on automatically when viewing the cameras. When the security system is armed, the video will be archived when the sensor is tripped. Choose your voice over IP phone provider in the video wizard.
Voice over IP phone service, I will set up your phone system now. What is the number you have? What is the username? What is the password? Congratulations!
Plug in an IP phone. It's ready to dial. Call my new VoIP number and nobody's home. LinuxMCE also set up an auto attendant with voicemail for each family member.
Thank you for calling. To call everybody in the house, press 0. To call one, dial 1. To call Carol, dial 2. To leave a message, press #.
That can be viewed on the Orbiter's UI. Go into the admin panel. Upload a floor plan of your house and position the devices on it so you can control them interactively. Use the floor plan to bounce media between rooms, stream to multiple rooms, transfer and conference phone calls.
Thank you for calling Microsoft. For Windows
and Windows XP technical support, press 1.
Monitor alarm sensors, and so on. LinuxMCEs will also manage your home security system if your alarm panel is compatible. I do not have an alarm, but LinuxMCE also manages generic sensors the same way. So, back when I paired my lights, I also paired a battery-operated Z-Wave motion detector. Now I leave my home and arm the alarm, which will arm any alarm panels and sensors.
Alarm will be active in 30 seconds. 20 seconds.
When it's tripped, you have by default 30 seconds to shut the alarm off before LinuxMCE treats this as a security
Alarm
breach.
will sound in 30 seconds.
There is a security breach.
When it does, the TVs and stereos come on, and LinuxMCE calls me and tells me what's happened.
This was a security breach in an unknown room.
To reset the alarm, press 1. To ignore the alarm, press 2. To fire SOS, then press 3. To notify your neighbors, press 4. To speak to the person in the house, press 5.
I'm watching you. Get out of my house.
If my phone has a data connection, I can also view the cameras both live and at the moment the sensor was tripped, as well as control my devices. And I have an archive of all security events showing what was on the camera at the exact moment the sensor was first tripped. I can do more sophisticated tasks in the admin site, let making certain things happen at sunrise or at set intervals, or change the call routing for auto attendance so phone calls go to each family member's cell phone when we're not at home, set up a RAID array, and so on. This video was shot beginning to end with no cuts or reboots or setup other than what you saw. Even with the smart home stuff I just whizzed through, you saw everything that went into setup. To keep the video moving, wait time and dead time was sped up so fast sometimes you can't see what happened. But whenever there was interaction or relevant messages, I tried to slow it down enough to make them visible. With all equipment staged and ready, it takes 4 hours to complete everything in this video. This sequence works reliably and the features shown in the video are stable with some exceptions, which are documented on this wiki page.